guys honestly want to know, like, no one's gonna hate you for being bad. Who cares what someone else says? Like, if someone calls you a toy, so what? It's one word. You want to know something, when they started out writing, they were a toy too.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. But if you're doing it for a long time and you have no visible progression from what you started with and what you're still doing, you need to like change some stuff up or something because you're not learning anything.
Yeah. And you have to kind of look at it in perspective to see, why aren't you progressing as you thought you were? Because
Yeah.
you could either come into it thinking you'll get as good as as like some of the huge names out there overnight, or you can come into it and be realistic that I myself have been in graffiti for 2.5 years, and some of the stuff I still do, I wish I would have gotten over doing these small little things that are like simple stuff that I could have changed a while ago, but I just haven't done it just because whether I was stubborn or whether I just felt it was better this way. But then kind of looking at it, it's like I definitely could have changed that a while ago and kind of dodged that bullet to find this different style or whatever.
And I'm actually going through that right now, where I used to do simple pieces like throwies and stuff like that, like bubble letters. But now I'm working on more complex stuff, you know. And so it's just you gotta exit certain stages. Like everything is a stage.
Yep.
Like you start out this way, you learn this, you get good at that, you move on to something different. The graffiti and writing is constantly changing.
Yeah, I mean, even like, because like the old school guys, they all started out tagging, then they went to throw ups, then they did pieces. But now the kids are starting and they're trying to do these crazy wild styles before they've even mastered a tag. And once again, I'm gonna kind of be a hypocrite there, as I don't have the best tags, but I don't focus on tags.
My tags suck.
Yeah, I don't like doing simple letters. I like to kind of even do a throwy or whatever, and even that's I feel I can improve a ton in that, even though it is even better than my tag or whatever. I can improve so much in there. It all comes down to what direction you want to go in.
And that's another thing. Look at the second word for street art. It's art. Look at how art in museums is. It's not made to please other people. It's made so that person feels good about themselves.
Yep.
They drew that, seeing an idea in their head that they wanted to get down, and they decide to share it with the world. Exact same thing. Don't care what anybody else thinks.
I mean, you can always take input from other people.
Yeah.
That
Like,
never
I'm
hurts.
not saying, like if someone gives you help, don't be like, oh, they're just mad, or they're trying to bring me down. They don't want me to be good or anything. No one is trying to do that. There's not a person in the writing world that if they actually care about graffiti and live for it, that they will hate on someone else.
Yeah.
And want them to do bad. There's screwed up people who will do that, but the genuine people that you want to keep around you as friends won't do that to you.
Yeah. Well, I've had the privilege of taking some actual art classes in school, about 3 or 4 arts in high school, and every time we finished a project, we would have to stand up in front of the classroom, and everybody would have to critique everybody else's work. I mean, if you could sit there in the front in class with about 30-something people just, pretty much picking your artwork apart.
Yep.
And stuff like that. I mean, I guess I'm just used to it. But anybody can do stuff over the internet. Anybody can hate. But if you're actually standing up there and telling somebody, that you need to do this or that, I think that's helped me out a lot. And I try to take all the advice I can get.
And that's definitely an acquired skill in itself, is to be able to allow people to just legitimately destroy your artwork to learn from it.
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, you gotta accept when people are better than you, and when they're trying to help you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at someone and your opinion is, oh, they're not as good as me, and they're trying to help you, well, so what? I still take tips from my little sister on my artwork. I mean, I take tips from my parents. They'll say, oh, but why didn't you do this or that? And then it makes me think, why didn't I do that?
Yeah,
they don't know, they don't have a clue about art, but I still listen to them.
Yeah, even questioning your own art, like, why did I pick that color over this one? That would have worked equally as good, but what drove me to pick that or do that line in such a fashion? Like, why do I like curved lines better than straight lines? Like, what does it for you.
And you just gotta be able to practice all aspects of writing and street artistry.
And I feel like a lot of people, they just try to dabble in every single aspect that there is out there, whether it's street art and graffiti or it's tags and stickers or whatever. You know, they have a lot on their plate to choose from, and yet they haven't made the decision. I know I haven't picked one or the other. You know, I still do like graphic images and whatever, like my Obama one and whatnot, and I still work on stuff like that. But I have more focused on lettering in the recent months or whatever. You know, I still make designs in my free time, and work at on that aspect just so I don't get too rusty and whatever. But it comes down to what you enjoy most and not how
Right,
much can I do.
and it's also you practice different. Like I'm trying to get good at canvases. I've tried getting good at pen and inks. I've done contemporary art. I've done sketching. I've done stickers. I've done graffiti. I've done spray painting. I've done regular painting. I mean, I've done it all. And you know what? All it comes down to is it all helps you.
Yep.
Every aspect of art fits in with another aspect, and it just helps everything fit together. So it's not that you have to pick one and you have to stick to it 24/7. You
Yep.
can go and you can sidetrack to other things, but just make sure that whatever makes you happy in the writing world, you stick to it.
Yeah, and don't feel pressured by people, saying, like I see a lot of characters out in the sticker game. I don't feel pressured to go and make a character tonight. I
Yeah.
I like doing letters, and I'm gonna stick with that because I enjoy it, and I'd rather enjoy doing it than kind of be forced into a niche that I don't like. And I think SG, you've kind of done that yourself, is that you kind of backed out of like hardcore stickers just because you weren't enjoying it or it was taking too much time where you could have done something else.
Yeah. Well, just like Micah said, I like to test the waters just about everything I can. Art in that aspect. I like to draw portraits of people and have some
Hmm.
drawing, painting,
Yeah.
with like acrylics, oils. I try to dabble in it all and try to do all kinds of art just because it helps you, like you said, it helps you uh, build your skills
Yep.
in other areas, and that way you can probably come up with ideas of your own.
Yeah,
Like
and
you
who
can
knows where you could imply something from drawing a peach to writing the letter O. Like,
yeah,
you can make these really stretched like characteristics that could resemble one another, but in the same sense could never resemble each other. But you got the inspiration or the idea from doing something
Right.
else.
And let me ask you this: as when you like went off and you do all this other stuff, is there a moment where you don't enjoy it?
I find myself sometimes where I don't feel driven to do something. Like it takes hours to sit there and draw a portrait of somebody, and she might be just sitting there one day and be like, I just don't feel like drawing today. And, and the next day rolls by, the next day rolls by, and you're just like, well, I'm not feeling it right now. But then you just might want to pick back up on it.
Yep.
I
I
don't
feel
think
like
it
I'm at that
was.
standpoint right now, as you know. I try to make like at least 10 stickers a night, but the past 2 nights, whatever, I've been tired or whatnot, and I've come up with excuses, but I just don't have the drive to do it, and it comes back to not making a pretty elaborate video today. I just do what I want. I don't really let that, granted, one day of having a kind of lower end video, is a direct example. Maybe not as many people will watch it, or it might not get as high of popularity, but I see that, I know that, I do it because I don't feel driven to make anything better.
Right. But I mean, that also comes back to how much you enjoy just sitting around and talking with other
Yeah,
people about street art because you're sitting here and having
and
yourself
I'm
a good
totally into
time.
this right now.
Yeah.
I came home from work and I was just like, I want to plan this. I don't want to draw. I want to get this thing going and put together or whatever.
Right. And see, guys, that comes down to it. Is he doesn't want to do something else, but he finds something to do.
Yep.
He's keeping himself active. And SG is keeping himself active. He stops there. What does he do? He finds something else to do. So he goes into stencil artwork, which he is damn good at. Let me tell you that. um, so he does that, and you know what? I mean, it's just what you gotta do. Like,
A lot of you gotta have commitment to it.
Yeah.
If you don't wanna, don't take shortcuts. If you want something,
Mike just cut out.
did.
Yeah.
Like, anyways, back to the point. If you gotta have commitment, if you want something to look good in the end, I mean, you gotta commit to it and don't take shortcuts.
Mhm.
And don't try to take the high road or whatever. I mean, for the last two canvases I did, I sat there and to do multi-layers, you have to have everything exactly lined up,
Yep.
or it will not come out right. You got to layer it right. You got to have everything fit right, and it takes hours to sit there and get everything adjusted. But once you have that once you get it done and you have that final spray, I mean, it's all worth it in the end. But you just got to commit to it.
Yeah.
There's no turning back. That's the one thing I know is that when you do stencils and stuff like that, like SGI, I'm sure you know this because you probably gone through like tons of like crap where like you spray it and you get off by like an inch or two. That's it.
Yep.
So be prepared to take your time with it. I mean, don't make things look sloppy. Make them look as clean as you can.
I've sat there.
Look at his mic cutting out again.
Is it mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
This shitty iPod.
Gosh.
Nobody buy iPods. That shit. Hey, I got the upgraded one. It's just a piece of shit.
Never mind. No one buy the upgraded iPod. You heard it from SG himself.
Yeah, straight up.
Upgraded iPod is shit. And you know what? My little sister has it, so I'm gonna let her know right after this video.
So, I mean, I think
I
we're...
was gonna say something. Y'all made me forget.
Crap. Now I feel bad. Everybody just spam makeup. You're a bad person.
Well, I think we got it down tonight, guys. I think
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, we're gonna talk about
53 minutes at it. But, I'll split this up into 2 episodes or whatever, 3 episodes, depending on how long it ends up turning out. But, definitely leave us with your opinions on some of the stuff we talked about, on commitment and originality with your own artwork. These guys' links will be below. Enjoyed my time. I think you guys did as well.
I was gonna put one more thing in before we left. If you guys sat here and listened to us ramble on for the past hour, I'm gonna leave it aside, but I'm gonna pick one of his subscribers and I'm gonna send him a free sticker pack.
Oh my gosh.
And
I sat here and listened to us ramble on for an hour.
I'm probably gonna do a piece like on a piece of Bristol board or something, like my new stencil, and I'm gonna send that to you too.
All right.
So,
well,
I'm gonna leave it aside.
You heard it here, guys. I'll think of something and put it in the description of part 2 or the last part of this video. If you made it all the way through, you'll find out. Thanks SG for hooking up someone or one of the viewers that hopefully they learned something and now they get a little incentive. And I think this will be a great learning point if you did make it through and you're still listening to us ramble. But
Just say it's gonna keep going after.
yeah, now we're gonna find something else to talk about, but I'm gonna cut myself off on purpose, make it awkward and stop talking. But Mego or SG have any last words?
I'd just like to say, I like big butts and I cannot.
Shut up, SG.
I've been staring at my penis now for about an hour. And just keep it original. Just keep it original.
I'm gonna have to like bleep that out or something.
Keep it southern on this piece right now.
All right.
That's all I gotta say.
You heard it first. Keep it southern. Stop looking at yourself. That's gonna do it for us. I guess comment, rate, subscribe. Go spam these guys with some of the crazy stuff they just said. Peace.